day 9 of Vlogmas. I hope everybody's had a fantastic Saturday and that you're now sat resting for the rest of the evening. Don't know, that's what I'm certainly going to be doing. I am dressed up at the moment. It is the end of the day. Well, I say it's the end of the day. It's about 7 o'clock in the evening. I'm filming this. And I'm actually going to whiz back to the beginning of the day and input my putting on my makeup at the start of the day. Now, I know this is a bit strange, but lots of people asked me if I could share this on one of my videos. So I know that not everybody's going to be interested in this. So in this part of the video, I'm going to put a little label on the bottom of the screen that shows you the time that the makeup bit ends. And I'm also going to put timestamps in the description below, so you can either zoom forward to the time when I'm going to carry on with the remainder of this video, which is my normal Vlogmas, or you can go down into the description and click on the timestamp to take you after the makeup bit. So I'm going to now pass you back to myself from this morning, but I will just forewarn you, I have got a sore throat and I sound very peculiar at certain points during the video.
Hiya, so makeup. Now I will say, I think I'm looking rather rough today. You know, I'm obviously not feeling very well. I have a very strange voice. So I'm going to go through, oh my gosh, this is going to be funny, isn't it? I'm going to go through and show you everything that I use. What I will say is I am no makeup expert. I certainly don't use the same range of everything for all of my makeup. I do kind of have the same skincare range, but in terms of makeup, I use a little bit of all sorts of different stuff. And I do that because I will ask people when I see somebody and I think, oh, I really like what they're using, I will ask them about it. So for example, my foundation, I got my advice on that from Katie, who is whatever Katie makes on Instagram. So I'm certainly no expert. And I feel like I change my routine all the time. But at the moment, this is what I've been doing for a while, so I'm going to stick with it. And just to say, I've got on my lovely dressing gown that the lovely Helen from Stitch Rip Repeat made me. I can't remember the name of the pattern she used. I'll put it up on the screen. But it's lovely and light. I'm not feeling brilliant, and I think I'm quite hot. So putting my great big fluffy dressing gown on just isn't going to work. So this is absolutely perfect. So yeah, it's worked out really well. So most important thing when you are getting ready to go out, is to have a drink. And today my weapon of drink is a cup of tea. Okay, so I start with Tropic, and I use their morning mist, and I just squeeze that all over my face. And then I use their Rainforest Dew, which is like a type of serum. Hopefully you can see that on there. And I literally just do sort of 3 little drops, rub it on my hands, and then I just sort of press it on my face, just so that I know it's kind of gone everywhere. This is meant to be really good for your skin. And then they have a couple of daytime moisturizers, and I use the one that says Fresh Waves. Because I get quite oily skin, this apparently is meant to be really good for that, and it's meant to be good at sort of balancing out your skin. So that's why I use that. Now I've got 2 pumps of that. Now sometimes I just do this, I just put the cream on as it is and rub it in. And then other times I will add the next step to the cream. But this time I'm just going to actually do it separately. I do either or. Depends how much time I've got. If I feel like I'm in a rush, I'll just kind of shove it all together. So that's the moisturizer. And then this next step, which is, like I say, sometimes I'll add a couple of drops to that. But while I've still got the moisturizer sort of still quite moist on my hands, there's a little bit of residue. I use this, which is Glowberry, which apparently is really good for people of a certain age. Oh, sorry about the noise in the background. My husband's just got in the shower, and the shower mechanism is just behind where I'm sat. Sorry if you can hear a funny noise. So this again, I've just put 2 drops on my hand, and I just rub it on my hand, and then I just press it all over my face. There we go. So that's really my skincare routine in terms of once it's all cleansed and everything. Now, when I was in the video the other day, I just put on moisturiser and I just put on foundation. And normally with my foundation, I will just use the liquid and then I use something else. I don't tend to use concealer, but I do have some concealer. I have this Clarins Instant Concealer. Now this is, I'm going to tell you what all of the names and all of the numbers are of the things that I use, but obviously everybody's skin colour is different. So I'm using their Instant Concealer 02. Now, I tend to try not to use this unless I feel like I really need it, because I don't want to get into the habit of constantly putting it on. But obviously I'm not feeling all that great at the moment, so I am just going to put a little bit around the bottom of my eyes, and I just literally use that much. That looks quite a lot there, but it's really not. It's a teeny tiny little squirt. I rub it into my fingers and I'm just going to put it under my eyes. Try not to rub. And make sure you put it in the corner of your eye at the end as well. And then I always put, if I've been using the concealer, I always put a little bit down the side of my nose, and whatever is left to sort of rub down the edge of my nose, the centre of my nose. I don't know why I do that. So wow, looking fabulous at the moment. Okay, so then I go on to using my actual, I keep calling it moisturiser, foundation, and I am using a Lancome Teint Idol Ultra Wear, and this is the one that Katie advised me to use, and I am using colour number 320C. So they do ranges in terms of if you've got cool skin tones or warm skin tones and that kind of thing, and I definitely have cool skin tones, and this is what they match me up with. In fact, I haven't got very much of this left, and I've just literally been in and bought a new one ready for when this one runs out, because I hate running out of things. So I normally do a couple of pumps, and I should use a brush, I know, but I literally rub it on my fingers like that, and I literally sort of tap it all over. Oh, excuse me, I made funny noises in my throat then. My throat's so sore at the moment, and then I just rub it in with my fingers. And I know there'll probably be lots of people out there going, you should be using a brush or you should be using a sponge. People have asked me what I do. This is what I do. I tend to not rub it over my lips. I try to go around my lips rather than over my lips, and I sort of just pull it down like that. Now, I have also got a brush that I'm going to show you, and if I'm really feeling in the mood to do that, I will use it. Now, I've got a Bare Minerals brush, and it's like got a flat head on it, and it's meant to be, you sort of put the foundation on your skin and then you can sort of do this and you can sort of put it on, and it's almost meant to replicate your fingers. I just can't always be bothered to do that, so I just actually use my fingers. There we go. So yeah, and I quite like the fact that I don't get a line at all. It blends in really well with my skin. It seems to match my skin tone really well. And if you sort of, obviously it's a bit of a shadow here at the moment, but if I'm in the light, my chin where the makeup is on and the rest of my skin seems to be, you know, a similar colour, so I shouldn't get like that orange line going down my chin line, which is obviously what nobody wants that, do they? So then I go on and I use, I think this is a bit of overkill, but I've been doing this for a couple of months now and I've really been enjoying it. Now this is a really old pot and I've got a new one on its way, but this is a Tropic Mineral Foundation, and my colour is Barely Nude that I've been using. So the pots don't look like this anymore, they look really different, and I haven't got very much of it left, so hopefully mine will come soon. But you just need the tiniest amount. So in there is little bits of residue of the powder. You can sort of like tap it out. I mean, that's probably too much if I'm honest, but a little bit of the powder, and I just use this great big brush, which again is a Tropic brush, and you just rub it in, and you just take it all over your face. You don't need to keep picking up more of it because it stays in the brush. It's really, really good at sort of covering. So I think this again matches my skin tone really well, and because I get oily and I'm a bit sort of obsessed and worried about being oily and looking oily, I tend to put this on as well as my liquid foundation because I feel like it just makes me look a little bit matte, and I prefer that look. So that's what I use that, and I'm going to keep this brush out because I'm going to need it in a minute. So then I go on to my my blusher. Now I'm using this brush here. These are Real Techniques brushes, which I bought from, I think I bought them from Superdrug, but I think you can get them in most places. I have no idea if these are a good quality or expensive brush or anything like that. I just thought they were a really good deal, and funnily enough I've still got the box that I bought them in because I actually bought like a set which had a couple of sponges in. Clearly I don't use this one, but I've been really pleased with them. They're super, super soft on your skin, and there doesn't seem to be any shedding of any of the bristles or anything, so I really like that. So I'm going to put on my blusher with that, and I use a Dior blusher, and the colour that I use is, oh my goodness, I need glasses on. I have actually got glasses on. 047 Miss Rouge Blush. Yes, I think that's what it is, 047. I think that's what it is. And it looks really, really bright. But I just feel like this really suits my skin colouring. So again, just a little bit on the brush, and I just literally put it on the balls of my cheeks there and up. I still feel very weird doing this. I'm sure there's probably much better ways of doing makeup. Anyway. So you see, it's a really bright colour, but I'm putting it on and it's actually really gentle. It's just giving you that little bit of a kiss of colour, if you like, on your cheeks, which I really like. So that's that one. So finished with that one now. I'm finished with that brush. So now what I do, it sounds like an awful lot when I'm doing it and I'm not talking and I just go blah, 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 and it's done. So now, and this was advised, well, I went and tried to get this matched up for myself, and excuse me, when I was getting matched up, the lady in the shop had really nice eye colouring on, and I said, oh, I really like your eyeshadow, what's that? And she said to me, oh, it's actually not an eyeshadow, it's actually a contour. So I'd never used anything like that, but she showed me what it was and showed me what she did with it, and I've done that ever since, and I really, really like it. So it is the Yves Saint Laurent contour highlighter, and I don't think there's a colour with this. There is a number 1 in a box, so maybe it is that, but it just says contour highlighter. So that's what the box looks like. Now, obviously this is quite well used, but that's what it looks like inside. It's a little bit shimmery, and I use this brush here, and I just literally go very lightly over the top of where I've just been with my blusher on each cheek, like that. You don't want that to look very heavy, you just want it to blend in, but I will be going over with a blender in a minute. And then I put a little bit more on, and I go down the centre of my nose and brush the end of my nose because this is what she told me to do. And I just put a little bit on my, what do they call that, Cupid's bow? Is that what they call that on the top there? A bit on my Cupid's bow, a bit down each here, side here, which is where apparently you would get a bit of sun-kissed look if the sun was hitting you. So that's why I do that. Now, I now then use that, I put quite a bit on with this same brush, and I just put that all over my eye, and I put it right the way up to my eyebrow, so all across my eye socket, and both sides. Now, if I'm working and I'm going out or I'm just going out for the day and it's just a normal day, I will then still use this, and I use a slightly chunkier, chubbier brush, which is a bit thicker. So that one's quite soft and light. I don't know if you can see that. And that one's just a bit firmer. I'll just go back over that, and I'll just go over my eyelids with that. And then I'll finish the rest of my makeup and put my mascara on, and that will be it for my eyes. I won't do any more than that. But if I'm going out, then I will use an eyeshadow. So I'll come to that eyeshadow in a moment, because I'm just going to finish off my face, and I use a soft focus light powder, which unfortunately it's got these marks on it, so I'm sorry about that, but I use this, and this is from Tropic, and again I use this nice big chunky brush. It's very powdery inside, and I just take that all over my skin, and again that just seems to give you a lovely soft sort of look to the skin, and also it just smooths everything out that you've done. So if you have maybe put the highlighter on a little bit heavy, it just seems to smooth it out. There you go. So that is everything in terms of my face. So back to eyes. If I'm going out and I want to put a little bit more on eyeshadow wise than just the contour, then I will use this, and this is a Dior eye palette, and it is the 5 colour 1947 Miss Dior, and it's this really lovely pinky purpley set. I obviously use that one the most. So I will go back to using this chunky brush, and I will put a little bit of this one here just over my eyelid, like that. And then I've got a smaller brush. This is an old, I think this is a Tropic brush actually, so a little eyeshadow brush, and I will just go on this one, which is a little bit sparkly, and put that over again my eye socket. But because you've put that other one underneath, it just helps the pink to be a little bit more prominent. Now I do sometimes wear eyeliner and all sorts of different things, but I don't want to go too heavy with my eyes, because the event that I'm going to today is during the day, it's not an evening do. So I've got another brush which has got this small little bit on it, and again this is a Tropic brush, but obviously this palette comes with 2 little brushes that you could use, but I use this, and I'm just going to use this darkest colour here, and I'm just going to literally dab that across the bottom of my eyelid and a little bit underneath. Then I'll just sort of smooth it over with my finger. Now I seem to have got a little bit extra there, so I'm just going to go back over that with the pink. So it's just a little bit to make the eye a little bit more defined, so you can see the difference. And do that again with that one. So I'm just literally dabbing it down. I don't want to go too heavy. I feel like if I go too heavy, I look a little bit strange. There we go. So just a tiny bit. Now, other times I might use this pink one, and I might put that on just 1/4 of my eyelid at the end. You tend to try and keep the paler colours at the start and the darker colours at the end of your eyes. Sometimes I will, in fact I'll do this now, I'll just put a little bit of that darker colour sort of in my eye socket, like that. But other than that, I don't really do a huge amount with my eyes, because I don't like the idea of makeup falling down on your face during the day and actually making you look more tired. And let's face it, I don't need that today, do I? So that's everything eyeshadow wise. So then I'm just going to use this Lancome mascara, but with mascara I literally will use a different mascara every time I go into shop and buy one. Sometimes I use like a number 7 from Boots. Sometimes I'll use a Lancome one, a MAC one. It's whatever I fancy at the time, so it's not anything in particular. So I'm just going to literally pop this on. I always try, if I can, to fan them out. I don't like really thick, heavy eye lashes. I don't, for me, it doesn't suit me. So I like them to be as fine as possible and a little bit lifted. So whenever I am looking for a mascara, I always look for like lift and lightweight. So hopefully that's okay. Hopefully they look even. And then what I do is I have this number 7 lash and brow protector, and I normally put this on so it's totally clear, and I just put this on over the mascara I've just put on because it stops it from dropping down and getting those black lines underneath your eyes during the day. You know, when sometimes you get that mascara kind of 5 o'clock shadow under your eyes. This seems to stop this, and when I don't wear it I definitely get it. So I try and make sure if I've got mascara on I always put this on. So put that on. So what I tend to do though is if you put that back inside, this, it doesn't matter because it is only your mascara, but all of this inside ends up looking disgusting. So I always keep a piece of tissue in my makeup so that I can just wipe that brush off before I put it back in, so it always still looks clear, because otherwise I just think, oh, that's disgusting. So that's all of that, and then I just fix it. I've got a MAC Prep and Prime, so this is a Fix It. I've got the coconut flavour or coconut scent, and this is a setting spray. Now I went in to go and replace this yesterday because I knew I was going to get to the end of it soon and I didn't want to run out over Christmas, and they actually said to me, oh, why don't you, it was another concession, but they said to me that the Urban Decay setting spray is much nicer. So I have bought that. I've not tried it yet, so I have no idea what that's like. But for the moment, I'm just going to stick with this. And I just literally give it a little shake and spray it all over. And then hopefully that will stay in place during the day. The only thing that I might do during the day is if I've got room in my handbag, I will take something like this sort of soft focus powder. So if I feel like I'm getting a bit greasy or anything during the day, I'll just give it a little wipe over. But I tend not to do that, if I'm absolutely honest. I normally take that and then don't end up doing it. So I hope that's been helpful. That's obviously made this a very long video, but I will have put timestamps in the comments, in the description below, so that if you want to, you can just completely skip this if you're not interested at all. But there you go, there you have it. That's my makeup routine. I hope you found that interesting. I hope you found it helpful, and I'm so sorry about the voice. See you later. Bye. So I hope that you enjoyed that and have found it useful. I felt very weird doing it because it's certainly nothing that I've ever done before, and I don't know whether or not it's right or wrong, but it's what I do. So there you go. So I have worn my jumpsuit all day today, and I'm going to put in a little video now of me just before I was going out. So I'm sorry this video is jumping around a little bit, but I'm going to put a video in now of just before I was going out so I can show you what this outfit looks like in its full entirety, and then I'm going to have a chat with you afterwards about how I felt about it today. Hiya. So already done my hair, I'm dressed. I still sound really weird. So I have finally finished it. I'm finally done with this jumpsuit. You'll be very pleased to know. So here it is in its glory. I will put some photos in because it's very hard to show you in a video like this. I chose belt number 2 in the end. I really like this, and actually that was what my husband said he preferred as well. So I'm really pleased with how this has come out. It does feel strange that I don't have pockets, but I think pockets in this would have ruined the line going down the going down each of the hips. I had the waistband folded over on itself, which is what I thought how I was going to wear it, but actually I felt like it needed just a little bit more length, and I unraveled the hemband, so I've actually got the elastic up and underneath this belt, and it just seems to work a bit better. So that's something for me to be mindful of next time if I do make it again. I've got it on with some little gold shoes. Basically I've got these on because I needed to paint my toenails and I couldn't be bothered. So I made sure I had some which had some little you know, covered my toes. So what I'm going to do, I am going to wear this, I'm going to take this clutch bag with me, which kind of ties everything in with the belt and the shoes. That's not quite matching, but I'm sure it's fine. I'm not going to wear a coat because we will literally be going from the car into the hotel and back out again. That you know, it's not much. So what I will do, just as a little bit of extra warmth as we're going in, is I will just put that on, which I think goes really nicely with the black. I'm quite pleased with how that's looking, and yeah, so I'm really pleased with it. It feels like it's been quite a journey making this but I think I've got the look that I was going for in terms of the picture that I had seen as my inspiration. So yeah, I'm really pleased with it. So all in all, I have really enjoyed wearing this today, but there are definitely a few things that have been an eye-opener, a learning curve. I don't know what you want to say. I have never worn anything velvet before. Well, that's not true. I remember when I was little, I had a bright red, or like a jewel red, velvet dress that my mum and dad had got me that I used to wear around Christmas, and it had like a white lace section around here, and then later on, maybe another year, I had like a deep jewel green velvet dress with a white lace thing that went across here. I was about 6 years old and I had really blonde coloured hair. In fact, you know what? I'm going to see if I can find a picture of it, and I'll put it here. If I can, I might not be able to, but oh my gosh, I just remember those dresses. But obviously I don't really remember much about wearing them. But I do remember that we used to go to the theatre and go to the pantomime every Christmas, and it was such a treat to go to the theatre, and I used to have this really, what I felt like was a really posh dress on to go. So that's my only experience of wearing velvet. Anyway, wearing this today has been really strange. So first of all, I've got these ties in, and I've had to stitch the this bit of the bodice onto this tie because it was moving around a lot, but only moving in one direction, because obviously velvet has a nap, and where it, you know, if you run your hands, I've got the nap going down, so running your hands down the velvet, it's very smooth, and obviously if you run it up, it's rough. And I've got the nap of the tie going down the length of the tie as opposed to going around it. So I don't know if that would have made any difference, but what it means is that this moves only in one direction really easily, and if I try to pull it back the other way, I've got to like go like that with it to try and pull it back. So in the end I stitched it down, but even with that, even stitching it down, look, it's moved a bit now. I've stitched it there and there. So which way is the smooth way? So that's the smooth way. As I was like going through the day, I'd realised it was all bunched up on one side, so I've had to like pull it back. But I think that is only because it's velvet as opposed to the style of the pattern. So I've stitched it down there, and I've stitched it at the back. And I don't think with my hair down, you can't really notice, but I'm just going to have to, because I'm definitely going to wear this again. In fact, I'm thinking of wearing, it's my work's due next Friday, and I'm thinking of wearing this again. And I think with my hair down, you can't really tell. But I have felt really nice in this. I have felt so comfortable, but really put together and really smart. And I've just felt like it was the right kind of dressed up enough for the event that I've been to today. So then in addition to that, with the whole velvet thing, I realised that when I was sat down on a really nice chair when I was eating my meal, and every time I went to go and move and get out, like as I sort of like pulled myself back, I was like stuck to the chair. It was like Velcro. It was because I was trying to move in the opposite direction to what the nap of the
of the velvet was. It was most peculiar, and it was like, oh, this is quite a new experience, really. So it was all very strange. But other than that, I have felt really comfortable in it all day, and I've really liked it. And I'm glad that I went with this choice of the belt. I think this buckle was just slightly more delicate than the other ones, and yeah, so I'm really pleased with that. So I wanted to share with you a little bit of what I've done today, and unfortunately we were late to the place that we went to. So we went to the Cottage Hotel, which is in Hope Cove, and it's a very, very old-fashioned hotel, but we go there every year. We've been going for about 25 years every Christmas. So there is a man called Keith who is a dear, dear friend of ours. He's godfather to our children, and he is the head of the West Alvington and Aberdeen Gifford Horticultural Society, and he has this big Christmas party every year, and we get invited to it, which is absolutely delightful. It's really lovely. As soon as the invitation hits our doormat, we kind of squeal with delight, because we're like, oh my gosh, it's Christmas has begun, because we've been invited to Uncle Keith's Christmas do, and we absolutely love it. Obviously the children haven't been able to come this year, which is such a shame, but we are going out with him next Sunday, just the 6 of us all together, once the girls are home, so we can actually see him all together, so that'd be lovely. So we went, and when we were halfway there, and I've taken a little bit of footage of the drive there, it's all through country lanes, it's all very windy, and we have had the most torrential rain over the last few days, and there was a huge flood in the middle of the road, and we debated going through it, and I'm glad we didn't, because later on we found out that a car had gone through it and broke down. So it was obviously much deeper than what we could see, but it meant that we had to turn back and try and find an alternative route to the hotel, and it just made us late. So when we got there, we're normally quite early, and I thought I could take some really nice footage of all the old-fashioned and decorations, and the way it's all set up, and the fireplace and everything. But there were loads of people, and they were all sat down, and I just thought, I just can't do that. It's not fair to do that when there's lots of people sat around. So I'm so sorry about that, but I can't share that. But we've had an amazing day. It's been really great, and yeah, so that's been our day. So I'm home now. I've got myself a cup of tea, even though it says hot chocolate, but it's a cup of tea, and John's just stuck a baked potato in the oven, so we're gonna have baked potato for tea, just something very bland and plain, and fairly light, really. And I'm gonna take this off in a minute and get into my jammies, and I think we're just gonna watch telly for the rest of the evening, if I'm absolutely honest. So I've been looking forward to coming home and opening up my advent calendars all day. So shall I go on and do it? Yeah, okay. So I'll start off with day 9 of the Beyond the Pink Door advent calendar. Oh, and if you watched my video yesterday, I said on there that I couldn't open the link, and I think I did put on there that it had been resolved, but I have been able to go into that now, and it is a puzzle. It's a jigsaw puzzle of the Beyond the Pink Door advent calendar box design, and you have to sort of put it together. So that was what yesterday's was, but I couldn't see it when I was doing the video, so I wasn't able to tell you what it was. So today is a physical gift because it's an odd day, so number 9. So, oh, give it the sniff test. There's no smell, so I don't think it's the smelly one. It's very flat. It's definitely got some wrinkles to it, some bumps in it. Oh, I wonder what it could be. It is, come on. Oh, lovely. It is some Pigeon Wishes buttons. Oh, they're really nice. They're like almost like a marble. You see those? Oh, they're really pretty. I like those. That's lovely. Hopefully you can see that quite clearly. And there looks like there's quite a few in there as well. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, possibly 16 maybe? It doesn't say on the packaging. Oh, but they're lovely. They're really nice. And that will go really lovely on something. I don't know what yet. Yeah, really chuffed with that. So thank you very much, Andrea. I'm going to add that. I've been kind of building up my little bit of what I've been getting in my advent calendars and sort of lining it up. So I'll put that there. Okay, on to my 6th gift from the lovely Karen, who is so little time. So this is very flat, and this doesn't smell either. This has got bumps in it too. Actually feels very similar to what that did, if I'm honest. Isn't that funny? Oh gosh, she's really wrapped this up well. Right, come on. I'm going to have to rip this because I don't think I can get past the sellotape. Every single bit has been taped up. Wow, Karen, you've taped this up really well. Oh dear, oh dear. Right. What is it? Oh, that's so funny. It is buttons as well. Oh, that's hilarious. How funny to get that on the same day. I love that. And they're completely different. So isn't that wonderful? Oh, I like these. Oh, they're really, really pretty. So this is, the light in here is not very good. Resilily resin. So that's obviously the people that design and make them. And it's 5 buttons, and they are generally sort of clear, but with these lovely little holographic-y kind of sequiny glitter in them. I'm so sorry. Coughing. Can you see those? Maybe if I come back a little bit. They don't look very clear, do they? Hopefully you can see them. They are really, really pretty. I love that. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn this light off a second. Can you see that a bit better if I do that? Hopefully you can. Oh, they're lovely, Karen. Thank you so, so much. That's brilliant. So I'm going to add that to my little, I don't know where to put them really. There we go. I kind of want to show it all off there. There we go. I'm really chuffed with my advent calendar so far. Thank you so much. Right, well, I hope you've enjoyed that. Other than the big makeup-y bit in the middle, still quite a short and sweet one from me today. Tomorrow, I'm really hoping that John and I are going to get up our Christmas decorations, except for the Christmas tree, because the girls would really like to put that up when they get home, which is fair enough. So I'm going to put up all the other Christmas decorations, and I'll share that with you tomorrow as we're doing it. But other than that, I'm going to say see you later. See you later. Bye.